Chapter 2: The Silent Cost of Seeking Validation.
You post about your goals before you've done anything. You announce your plans. You share your intentions. You tell everyone what you're about to do, what you're working on, what you're going to become. And you call it accountability. You call it sharing your journey. You call it inspiration. Here's what it actually is: a transaction. You're trading your power for applause. Every time you seek external approval, you transfer your power to someone else's opinion. Every single time. You take something that should be internally driven, your goals, your standards, your direction, and you make it dependent on someone else's response. That's the cost. Validation seeking is an unconscious negotiation where you trade your self-worth for someone else's judgment. You hand them the authority to determine whether what you're doing matters, whether you're on the right path, whether you're good enough. And here's the trap. The more you need others to confirm you're on the right path, the less ownership you have over your own direction and decisions. Think about what happens when you post about your goals. You share that you're starting a business, beginning a fitness journey, working on a creative project. The likes come in. The comments arrive. So proud of you. You got this. Can't wait to see your progress. How does that feel? Good, right? Encouraging, supportive. Now here's the question. What happens when you sit down to actually do the work and no one's watching? The validation isn't there anymore. The encouragement is gone. It's just you and the difficulty of the task. And suddenly it's harder because you've trained yourself to associate the goal with the response, not with the execution. You don't need their permission, but you've been acting like you do. You've been operating as if your goals only matter when other people witness them, as if the work only counts when it's documented, shared, and validated by an audience. That's not strength, that's performance. And there's a massive difference. Social media has weaponized your need to be seen. It has taken a basic human desire to be acknowledged, to matter, to be recognized, and turned it into an addiction. An algorithm designed to keep you posting, sharing, seeking, performing. Every platform is built on the same principle. Give people a stage and a metric. Let them broadcast their lives and measure the response. Likes, comments, shares, followers. All of it is quantified validation. All of it is external confirmation that you exist, that you matter, that you're doing something worth noticing. And it's destroying your ability to do anything meaningful. Here's why. You post your goals before you've done the work. You announce that you're going to run a marathon before you've run a mile. You declare you're starting a business before you've made a single sale. You share your intention to change, and people applaud the intention. You're seeking applause for intention rather than execution, and your brain can't tell the difference. Neurologically, when you receive validation for announcing a goal, your brain releases dopamine, the same dopamine that would be released when you actually accomplish the goal. So you get the reward without doing the work. This is called social reality. When you tell people you're going to do something and they respond positively, your brain treats that social acknowledgement as partial completion. You feel productive. You feel accomplished. You feel like you've made progress. But you haven't done anything. This dopamine loop tricks your brain into feeling accomplished without accomplishing anything. And worse, it drains the very fuel you need for actual achievement. Because now, when you sit down to do the hard work, there's no reward waiting. You already got the validation. The applause already happened. The difficulty of execution feels unrewarding because the emotional payoff came too early. That's the key. You've spent the motivation before you earned it. You've cashed the check before you did the work. And now the work feels twice as hard because there's no immediate reward attached to it anymore. So you quit, or you post about it again, seeking another hit of validation to keep you going. And the cycle repeats. Announce, receive applause, feel good, struggle with execution, announce again. You're not building a business, you're building an audience for your intentions. You're not transforming your body, you're documenting the idea of transformation. You're not becoming disciplined, you're performing discipline for people who don't actually care if you follow through. And here's the brutal truth. They don't care, not really. The people liking your posts, commenting encouragement, they're not invested in your success. They're scrolling, they're consuming, they engage for 3 seconds and move on. They'll like your post about starting a business and then like 15 other posts that have nothing to do with you. Their validation means nothing, but you've made it mean everything. You have a choice. You can continue seeking external confirmation for every step you take. You can keep broadcasting your progress, fishing for encouragement, measuring your worth by engagement metrics. You can stay addicted to the performance of growth instead of the reality of it. Or you can go silent. Mental toughness requires becoming your own authority, indifferent to spectators. It requires that you stop needing anyone's permission, approval, or acknowledgement to continue. That you build something so solid internally that external noise, positive or negative, doesn't move you. The protocol demands you go silent. No announcements, no progress posts, no fishing for encouragement, no documenting every workout, every win, every step forward. You delete the audience from your process entirely. This isn't about being secretive or antisocial. This is about reclaiming your power, about proving to yourself that you can do something meaningful without needing constant external validation to fuel it. You do the work in private. You show up every day to the task, the training, the building, and nobody knows. Nobody's watching. Nobody's cheering. There's no applause, no likes, no comments. Just you and the commitment you made to yourself. And that's where real transformation happens. Because when you remove the external validation, you're forced to develop internal validation. You're forced to find satisfaction in the execution itself, not the response to it. You're forced to become someone who keeps their word to themselves, even when no one's watching. That's mental toughness. That's integrity. That's power. Let results speak when they're undeniable, not when you need emotional support to continue. When you've actually done the work, when you've built the business, transformed your body, mastered the skill, then the results speak for themselves. You don't need to announce them. You don't need to document the journey. The outcome is the validation. But until then, silence. Here's your second protocol assignment. For the next 30 days, you go completely silent on your goals. Delete the post where you announced what you're working on. Stop sharing progress updates. Stop talking about what you're going to do or what you're currently doing. If someone asks what you're up to, you keep it vague. Just staying focused, working on some things. You don't elaborate. You don't seek their feedback. You don't invite their opinion into your process. You work in obscurity. You execute without an audience. And you prove to yourself that your commitment doesn't require external fuel to sustain it. This will be uncomfortable. You'll feel the urge to share, to post, to tell someone about the progress you're making. That urge is the addiction talking. That's the validation-seeking pattern trying to reassert itself. Resist it. Every time you feel the need to broadcast, recognize it as weakness, as the part of you that still needs permission from others to believe in what you're doing. And then you double down on the silence. Because here's what happens when you work in private. You become dangerous. You become someone who doesn't need applause to continue. Someone who can't be discouraged by criticism because you're not looking for external feedback in the first place. Someone who operates on a completely different frequency than the people performing their lives for an audience. You stop being a performer. You become an executor. And execution doesn't require spectators. It requires commitment, discipline, the ability to show up and do what needs to be done when no one's watching, no one's encouraging, no one cares. That's the key. You don't need them. You never did. The only person whose belief matters is yours. The only validation that counts is the one you give yourself when you honor the commitment you made in private.
You've stopped seeking permission from your feelings. Now, you've stopped seeking permission from the crowd. But there's something even more fundamental. You need to understand. The very thing that builds the person you're becoming